right, let's go forward. I think I'm going to grab my Starlight Tarot here real quick. If I can get them out of the box here. That box is slick. Well, I need to take out a different deck so I can get to them. There we go. Now, the question I want to ask is how and why has Trump been able to bamboozle people for so long about Jeffrey Epstein, his involvement with it? How has he been able to manage to just pull the wool over so many people's eyes for so long? I mean, for me, it's amazing to see that. How can they not see the evidence right in front of their faces? His inappropriateness with his daughter, okay? The pictures of him with Epstein. The fact that Epstein said they were best buddies for so long. The fact that they both live close to each other in Palm Beach and New York. How has he been able just to bamboozle people? So let's see what we have. First thing out, the reading's about. Okay, holding on to the energy, people with women, the energy. Coming into it is about him, his control of the energy. The past women's energy, and now his holding on to what he's holding on to. What's going today is about the message, emotional messages, and about his control over the emotions. Now, he doesn't have a lot of control over his emotions, but, he puts this stuff out about women. The challenge is being backed up now. The fight is on. Now he's being pushed to the edge. The outcome was being out in the cold. Outside influence is the battle now. The women are taking the battle now. So when it comes to the women that were holding on to it, this was for them start the emotional issues for them. This is a very tough thing for women, and especially young girls. They weren't going to come out and say anything. Okay? So when it comes to his controlling the energy, it's about his message power. Okay, he's got the voice to put out these messages. And for the girls, this was, again, the energy of this was devastating for them emotionally. Yeah, when it comes to his emotional ties and stuff, he's a dark element. That's it. He has that dark element. Now being back to the edge because what? Of the choices he's making in life. When it comes to the out in the cold with things, he kept everything up in the air. Okay? Everything is up in the air. He didn't let things get concrete, be seen. He always shifts it to something else. But now we have this embattled, and I think the outside influence with it, why he was able to do it, because he could use these things to crush these women. Okay? Actions, mental realm, information. Okay? He had too much power. The girls didn't like the harvest, what came, what would be coming with it if they had spoken out at that time. A lot of nightmare, concern, worry, PTSD, okay? When it came to the actions he was able to control and the messages he was able to put out. He bamboozled people when it comes to compassion and this and that, okay? What he was putting out there. He has no compassion. His dark force. And his new actions, the challenge was new actions. Okay? And I think this was him backing other people up to the edge, and this is something he's always done. And he kept the Magatonian family out of the loop. Okay? It says that they were out in the cold with keeping things up in the air. And when it came to investigations, we still have that ongoing struggle with that, pushing, and just the swords coming out. Okay? Wanting to end these investigations. So let's go ahead and do a clarifying read and see what else it has to say, how he's been able to bamboozle people for so long. It looks like just the point of the power that he's got, elements, he's got that book written, then he had the TV show, and then he's always playing the big shot, and, and who's he preying on? Little girls. Okay, preying on little girls who didn't have the voice at that time and have been dealing with the pain of all of this for so many years. But let's see what the clarifying read is going to tell us about this whole scenario, how he's been able to bamboozle people for so long. He's got this whole big thing to be able to create some image. Got big image makers out there. Got a lot of money to do that. Okay? He's all smoke and mirrors. Like they said, they did The Apprentice and he was just failed the whole time there. They manufactured this persona that had no basis in reality. Okay? So let's see, at the center of it all, we have the new things that were put out, that path, concrete, things in the ground that they were putting out. When it came to this, being on the edge, but protecting against, and I think this is somebody that was protecting him, okay? With manipulation. He always had this manipulation going. Every time he got pushed to the back, he would start something new, some sort of a new manipulation that was taking place. Okay? The lies, the message, the lies that he would construct. 100% a liar all the time. Dark. Has again. Dark manipulations, putting out something new, the new lie, the new drama, okay? The burden that he put on people, okay? He would just keep putting burden after burden on people. Tied up mentally, he would put the lies out to tie people up mentally. And this abuse, it was always about control, controlling the mental thing, putting these lies and fabrications out that people got caught up in. And he's always looking for the next move. figuring out the next action, how to burden people, how to put that out there. He would continually walk away from consequences, distance himself from anything. That's his life path. What he continues to offer up to control the elements, try to control the things around his life. The message about actions is to block things, block information, run by his desires. When it comes to the light, he would juggle these things, okay? He would juggle it and work on what? How to build this cult, okay? How to build a cult. That's what he worked on. He would put out a new action, charging forward. When it came to his dalliances, to overturn them, sacrifice them, see it from a different viewpoint, okay? Going forward, he would try to control the actions when it comes to the fight, okay? And going forward, what he was actually putting out there when it comes to information or it comes to the mental thing. So he would continue to construct this fake reality. His alternative facts. Yeah. And he has the wherewithal to do it because he's got access and always knows a way to promote himself or promote whatever he's doing. What he would do, he would call into things and pretend to be somebody else and promote himself, okay? So he knows how to work the media. He knows how to work the courts, how to work the media, and how to, continually just lie. He's got no compunction about lying. He will just continue his lies and his fantasy and his fabrication. Okay? So unfortunately, people saw the outside persona, the constructed image that he wanted to put out there, what they've made when they wrote the book, when they did the TV program, etc. Everything he controlled when it came, and he even make the fake magazines. He would make fake magazine covers that they were honoring him for this or that or whatever it was. He would put those up there, okay? 100%. His whole thing is smoke and mirrors and lies, okay? And since most people are not just consummate liars, they would believe him. And so that's how he's pulled the wool over the people's eyes for so long, because he's got access to media. He's got a very constructed image. He's got the power to who's going to listen to you? Okay? Who are you? I'm a big professional businessman, and what are you? Okay, you're going to come against me? You think so? Yeah, not going to happen. Okay? And he's always been this way. He's always been a bully. A bully, a cheat, a swindler, a liar, con man. Okay? Con men turn it on when they want something, and it's all a fake. It's all a smoke and mirrors. It's all drama. Okay? So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.